Alright, so we're going to talk about transformations. There are four types of transformations. The first one is a translation, which is a slide. Number two is a reflection, which is a flip. The third is a dilation, which is an enlargement or reduction. Um, and four is a rotation, which is a turn either clockwise or counterclockwise. And so in this video, we're going to discuss dilations. So whereas when we talked about translations and reflections, the image and the pre-image were the same size, they were congruent to each other. A dilation is a transformation that changes the size of a figure. A dilation produces a similar figure, which means they might not be the same, but they have the same ratio for all the sides. The amount a figure is enlarged or reduced is called its scale factor, and you often see that with the letter K. If K, the scale factor, is greater than 1, that dilation is an enlargement, meaning I've made it bigger proportionally. If K is less than 1, then the dilation is a reduction, and that means I'm making it proportionally smaller. Alright, so our first example, we want to use this origin as the center of dilation, and right now that's all you'll be using. And given the scale factor, we want to find the coordinates of the vertices of the image. And in order to do that, you take the original coordinates, or the coordinates of the pre-image, and you multiply each of the coordinates by the scale factor, and that will get you the coordinates of the image. So for number 1, our scale factor, or K value, is 2. And so we have triangle ABC here. And so A is at 0, 4, B is at 4, 4, and C is at 3, 2. So in order to find the coordinates of the image, we multiply each of the coordinates by 2. So to get A prime, we're going to do 0 times 2, which is 0, and then 4 times 2, which is 8. So that would be the coordinate of A prime. To get B prime, we're going to take each of these and multiply by 2. So we should be at 8, comma, 8. And for C, which is at 3, 2, in order to get C prime, we're going to do 3 times 2, which is 6, and 2 times 2, which is 4. So we're going to go ahead and plot those points. You see the scale factor is 2. So will this be an reduction or an enlargement? This is going to be an enlargement because the K value is greater than 1. So go ahead and now plot these points so you can see that this indeed is an enlargement. So we have now plotted the points and connected them. So here's A prime, B prime, and C prime. And as you can see, the orientation of the triangle is the same, but it is bigger. It does not have the same size, and actually this one is going to be 2 times as big as the pre-image. Alright, let's look at example 2. So we're going to use the origin of the center and given the scale factor to find the vertices of the image. So we have the pre-image here, which is points L, M, and N. And L is at 6, 0, M is at negative 1, 2, and N is at 2, 4. The scale factor is at 1/2. So is this going to be an enlargement or a reduction? This is going to be a reduction because the scale factor is less than 1. So what we're going to do is take the scale factor and multiply it by the coordinates. So in this case, we need to multiply all the coordinates by 1/2. So 6 times 1/2 is 3, and 0 times 1/2 is 0. And then when we do the same thing here, for point M to get M prime, we want to do negative 1 times 1/2, which is negative 1/2. And then we have 2 times 1/2, which is positive 1. And then 2 times 1/2 is 1. And then 4 times 1/2 is 2. So now we have our coordinates of our image, and now let's take a second and plot our points. So now we've plotted our points for M prime, N prime, and L prime. Yes, M prime is at negative 1/2, and that's okay. You just go halfway in between and up 1. As you can see, this image is half the size of the pre-image. It is smaller, so it does go in line with that. This should be a reduction. If I took the lengths of each of the sides of the image versus the length of the size of the pre-image, I would see that they would still be proportional by the scale factor of 1/2. So now question 3 is going to talk about, well, how do we find the scale factor? So in this one, we're given the dilation of triangle ABC to triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. Find the scale factor. So the original, or the pre-image, is going to be the purple triangle, or the smaller one, because they don't have the primes, and we know the image, or the one that's done after the transformation, is the green one because it has the primes. So if we want to find the scale factor, what we're going to do first is we're going to actually determine the coordinates of one point of the pre-image and its corresponding image. So in this case, I'm going to just go ahead and use point B. So point B has the coordinates of -1, 2, and then B prime has the coordinates at -2, 4. Okay, so once we've identified one set of points for a pre-image and an image, we want to divide the x-coordinates and the y-coordinates. So we're going to do the image over the pre-image. So remember, this one is the pre, and this is the image. Okay, so we want to always do, to get the scale factor, we want to do the image divided by the pre-image. So let's do the x-coordinates. Get -2 divided by -1, which is 2. And then we're going to do the same for the y-coordinates. So we're going to do the image, which is 4, divided by the pre-image, which is 2. And we do 4 divided by 2, we get 2. So you see how those are the same. So that means the scale factor, or K, is 2. So that means the green image triangle is 2 times the size of the purple one. Okay, because we know the scale factor is 2. So important thing, always remember, is the image divided by the pre-image. Alright, and that's it.